Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tarotbull podcast card of the day reading in the last terrible impression I can do without getting kicked off of YouTube. Just kidding, YouTube. We love you. Anyway, hi guys, it's Brandon from the Tarotbull podcast, and I was doing my card of the day today, and it's normally not something I videotape every day, but I was like, hey, my hair is looking killer, so let's do a video. Speaking of hair, the two cards we're going to be talking about today. First, I pulled the Tower, and then as a base foundation card, the Queen of Swords. They both have crowns, I noticed. And I was like, that's the first thing I thought of because of the crown on top of my head. The wonderful crown of locks. Crown of Loxley. So, crowns. What do they mean? Well, I was like, hey, let me go to my great book of lost symbols that I found at a used bookstore for like $5. And I looked it up and it says crown/wreath, full consciousness. That's a pretty good start. It goes on to say the crown is similar to the circle and head in its symbolism and often signifies accomplishment and perfection. So when you look at this card, which is the Tower, you could see that accomplishment or perfection was blown off the top by some divine intervention, by an act of God or Zeus or whoever you will. So this I could look at in my life as something I was maybe feeling accomplished at, such as DJing, because I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a DJ and I've been doing really well lately and having a lot of fun at weddings and parties, and it's just been going really well. So this could mean that to get to the next level, I have to blow that crown off. Or if we back it up, maybe I could say, how did I get to the level where I'm having such a good time now? Because it was always, I always had fun, but I used to struggle more and I wasn't as confident. I would get nervous and worried that I was not going to perform well at the party. Not going to perform well at performance anxiety. I guess it was. So what made me able to build this tower and be confident and get to the next level? And that was I had to blow off the other crown that I had. So in the past, I thought I was good and I didn't need to learn anything, and I knew all there was to know, and I would just go out and do it all, and whatever happened was fine. But how did I get to the next level? Well, I took that mindset and just blew it off, and I was like, that's not right. I started going to these conferences in Vegas. The Wedding MBA is a good one, and also Mobile Beats. If you're a DJ, you got to check these out. They're great every year. They do them in Vegas. And so there's people that were at the next level and they're speaking, they're talking about how they got there. So long story short, I was able to apply what I learned and learn more and expand my knowledge and just learn to let go and be better. And it was a free fall, but it was worth it. I had a great time. And as a foundation card, the Queen of Swords. Swords really symbolize getting things done. It's a very abrupt thing. A lot of people look at swords in a negative way. You can do this. It depends on how you interpret the card. I like to interpret swords as an instrumentation of getting things done. It also can be obviously a weapon, but it could be a weapon of self-defense. So in this view, I would say as a foundation of this Tower card, this is how I needed to go about doing it. I had to be regal. I had to be a ruler of myself inwardly. I had to get myself together to bend to the will of this noble queen who holds the sword of truth, and get behind her, get my person behind her, and see how she's like confidently sitting there with her hand up. She knows people don't listen to her. Chop, chop. So that's how I would interpret these two cards. I just wanted to bring that to you today. And there's a little bit more I wanted to read about the crown because this book is great and I want to share it with everybody. So more talks about the crown. Originally, crowns and wreaths were made of plaited foliage or flower and had a religious purpose. In Egypt, only gods and pharaohs had a right to wear them. In Greece, every god has his or her own, loaded with symbolism. There was an oak wreath for Zeus, laurels for Apollo, myrtle for Aphrodite, and vine for Dionysus. And in ceremonies, the effigy of the god, priests, worshippers, and followers, and the victims offered for sacrifice were crowned with these wreaths. And guess what? From this originated the custom of putting wreaths on graves. So today, we put wreaths on graves, and in the past, the people that are going to sacrifice for, death, they put wreaths on their head. It's crazy how it changes, right? I'll read on. A crown signifies reward. Christians hope to receive in heaven the everlasting crown, shown on mountains as being held in the hand of God the Father. The bride's coronet was a sign of her virginity. Some more of the meanings. The halo or nimbus, is a crown of the Trinity, which, like the mandalora, which is the oval that surrounds images of saints and paintings, symbolizes immortal praise and union with God. It goes on, in Tantric Yoga, the crown is known as the Sarahashtara, I'm butchering that word, and is shown as a lotus flower with 1,000 petals on top of the head. It is a symbol of the highest degree of spiritual development possible and is totally androgynous beyond time and space. So I'm getting a real theme with this crown that originally, like I said, full consciousness. It's how that's represented and communicated to different people throughout different time. But this is the difference. What I really wanted to highlight in this video is this is how I like to show the difference between words and symbols. And this is how I got interested in symbols, because words, there's a lot of problems with words. We're using them now to communicate. I get it, right? So there's a lot of use for words. They're great, but some of the shortcomings that they have. Words, one of them is they change over time. So something that was written, that doesn't seem like bad, right? Like, what did bad mean in the 80s to Michael Jackson? What's it mean now? God, that was a terrible reference in hindsight. But anyway, so you see what I'm saying, right? And then the other thing about words is that it has it could also have such a narrow focus in just one thing, whereas a symbol now is, the good thing about this is it's open to interpretation of the person. So they look at a symbol and it's open to their interpretation. It's harder to put into a hole, and also it can represent a lot of different things to a lot of different people in their interpretations. And the way these symbols are used in conjunction, they could be used as a better way to communicate a message throughout time of like thousands of years, for example. So if something was written thousands of years ago, it gets translated. You have the problem of the telephone game, then it's a different language. What did Jesus, if he really exists, what did he say? It was in Aramaic, and then it was Latin, then it was Greece, then it was what, and now it's English. This is what I'm trying to say. So symbols, you can look at these symbols and it's the same crown. People argue that the tarot goes back to Egypt or maybe further, Book of Thoth type stuff. I don't have time to get into that now, but we're going to talk about that in the Tarotbull podcast. So a tower is always a tower for thousands of years. Think of the Tower of Babel. We know what a tower is, with a crown. And lightning means the same thing that it meant to a caveman that it does to us. It means get down, run, right? People falling from a high place, you know what that means? It means danger. These people are in trouble. You don't need somebody else to interpret this for you. You could see this picture and see what's going on. So this is why I like the tarot. This is why I got interested in it. And this is why I'm doing a video about it with crazy hair. So let me know what you guys think. If you like to add anything to this, if you have any comments or questions, please comment below, like this video, share it. You can check us out at comedylol.com. I also have tarotbull.com. It'll bring you to comedylol.com right now. We don't have the website. We're working on it, but Tarotbull, TAROTBULL.com as of today will bring you toward us, tarotbull.com. It's a great accomplishment. What did you do today? Go to work and punch in? Come on. Yeah, so we're always looking for feedback. Make sure you check out the podcast with myself and Ashley. She's great. She's a great host. We've been getting really good feedback. So check that out. And if you have any other comments or questions or concerns, you can find me at brandon@comedylol.com. Thank you.